what's up people, welcome back to Wandering Souls, welcome back to the channel. Time for another video. This time a bit of a concert review, my thoughts on the Stonehenge Festival in the Netherlands. If you have never been to the Stonehenge Festival before, it's small sized festival, purely dedicated to underground metal. It's been there since the 90s, I think, early 90s, and yeah, it continuously slowly getting bigger during the years, and trying to get some bigger bands during the years. They are now in a size that they booking bigger bands in a full day, and they grew from really small to pretty well-known underground festival name here. And if you like your death metal, for example, this is the place to be if you are in the Netherlands and want to go to a metal festival that is dedicated to underground music. You can't beat Stonehenge. It's been there for so long, and yeah, fantastic festival, great atmosphere. It's like every time when you go back to the festival, it's a great atmosphere. There's always gonna meet people that you know, especially for if you're Dutch, you meet a lot of people from the past, and again on the festival. Also a great opportunity to meet new people, of course, because the festival holds like 2,500 or something in that era. People, so there's always some interesting people that are walking around. Plus you get some really great bands. There's a festival market. There's some food stalls in there. Yeah, of course, so you can get a lot of drinks, and it's all taken care of there. And yeah, it's not that muddy as other festivals because it's on stone. So it's a big parking lot where the festival is on, so you never get any dirty feet or anything. If you expect with some other great festivals that are on grass, for example, or so yeah, it's a great opportunity to see great bands, because most of the time, especially during the last couple of 10 years, maybe a little bit more, they're booking really great bands. There's already really great names already. Almost every big name in death metal land has played on Stonehenge Festival. The only exception is Cannibal Corpse, I think, and the rest, you name a big band that are still existing at that point. Don't call Death, for example, that's not the option. Because there are no more. Anyways, but sometimes it comes close, because MAssacre was also on this day, Anyways, yeah, great stuff. Good festival. Starting early in the morning, 10 a.m. until like 12 o'clock of 12 p.m. and what is it? Yeah, 12 p.m. I think. Yeah, in the evening. So it's a really long day, filled with bands, 2 stages, and yeah, you get definitely good bands to see, and great opportunity to see those. Anyways, over to the festival. Of course, I shot some footage, so here and there will be appear on this video. Also did some short videos uploaded earlier, like 10 or so. If you want to see more bands, go look at that shorts. Anyways, the festival itself, I didn't was there at 10 a.m. because it was a little bit early. So I was still at home at that point. When I arrived, I think around 12:30, 12:45, somewhere in that. I think so. Stoma was still playing, so I think this at 12:45 to 1 p.m. 1 p.m. somewhere in that area. But yeah, fantastic, good start to just settling in, get some coins, have a drink, losing some fluids, and getting ready for seeing the first band. For me, the first band was on the station stage. It was the French black metal band Merrimack, a name I'm familiar with. I have one or two albums from them, and I like their stuff. So this is definitely a band I wanted to check, and I'm glad I did. Great, pumping black metal here and there, some slower parts. Pretty tight drummer, I have to say. Good drums. Yeah, really nice performance. Of course, it's kind of weird to see the black and white painting in the daylight, but hey, it is what it is. Of course, it definitely would work out if they were later on the day, but hey, there were bigger bands after this, so yeah, you have to give him a spot somewhere. But yeah, really nice performance. I enjoy it. So Merrimack was a nice thing, a nice band to start with. Next up for me was a band from Japan, and actually I was not expecting to be a band from Japan on this day. And it was kind of one of the surprises of the day for me as well. Old school death metal, really good bands, like a bit in the vein of old death material, you know, they're kind of niche. Two singers, the bassist and the guitar player shared vocals, and a drummer. So a three-piece. Great band from Nakano, I think they are from, if I'm not mistaken. Really great band. Great old school sound, nice guitar work. Vocals were really fitting in that old school style, bit rougher, kind of vocal. Yeah, really great stuff. A good surprise for me. Like I said, I wasn't expecting a band from Japan, especially after reading the booklet. I always found it weird that it was Asian faces on the picture, but they all are talking about the Belgian scene or something in the booklet. You get a little booklet at the entrance with all the information, etc., from bands and time schedule, etc. And they were talking about the Belgian scene. And I thought, it's kind of weird, but okay. And when the band started, the announcer, Eric is his name, I think, announced a band from Japan. I thought, what? This was not on the schedule. The band is called Invictus, and yeah, really great surprise. It's really fun to see them. Great people as well. After the gig, I went to their merch table and bought their 2 releases. I think they have a couple of demos more, but one of the is a demo compilation and one is an album. So you have compiled all the things on one CD there, kind of deal. But yeah, really nice people, friendly, respectful, and yeah, fantastic band. Definitely glad I have watched them. And yeah, one of the surprises for me from the festival today. Next up was a band I have seen before on Stonehenge. They were the Stonehenge Festival 10 years prior to this on the lineup. I'm talking about the German band Sabiendas. Great death metal, riffy, fast. There's a nice amount of groove. great singer. Yeah, a band that has a lot of experience. You definitely can tell when they're on the stage that they are experienced. And I have a couple of releases out as well. So if you are curious about them, go check them out. Great band. They have dropped a new album, I think. So might think of picking that up in the future as well. It's a good band. And yeah, definitely glad to see them again after such a long period. I notice sometimes that, well, the female guitar player they have is sometimes on the Stonehenge Festival, so they always kept that connection, and finally they played the Stonehenge Festival again. So awesome. Next up, Divine Defilement, I think. Yeah, Divine Defilement. Sorry. Um, Brutal death metal from Iceland. Nice band, but I wasn't really in the mood for that kind of death metal. I don't know what it is. It's just me, I think. But sometimes when I'm in the mood for it, I will definitely enjoy this kind of stuff. So I think I have to listen a bit more back in a later stage. It is a band that I'm not familiar with, but the sound was good for them. Music wise, I don't mean the sound of people that arrange the sound on the stage. But yeah, I will come back to that later. By the way, if you want to know what I'm talking about. Anyways, a band that I have to check further. But like I said, I was not really in the mood for brutal death metal. It wasn't big squealy vocals as well, and I wasn't really in the mood for that at that point. So I watched it a bit and then went on to the metal market. And yeah, just did my go at the next stage by Destinity. From Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. Melodic death metal, really well played. Good stuff. I definitely enjoyed it. Good to see that the crowd enjoyed it as well. And there was a different kind of band in the lineup here because they are a bit more melodic than the other bands that were more old school or brutal. So it was a minor different kind of sound, and yeah, it's really enjoyable to watch. Great stuff. I definitely will check out the band further, and yeah, interesting band. Maceration from Denmark was the next one. And funny enough, Eric of the announcer announced that the vocals sound could be a bit lower down. Good choice, because the vocalist has a massive voice, but his screams are really loud. Let's put it that way. So they had to turn a bit down the volume of the vocals. Good job, but to do that, so otherwise you would be he has a really nasty scream. And but really nice tight band. Really enjoyed it. The sound though was not the best for them, sadly. But yeah, it is what it is. But I'm glad I have seen them. An interesting band, definitely a band from Denmark. If you don't know them, great old school death metal, some progressive elements to it as well. Also old school pumping stuff. Really good bands. Definitely worth checking out, guys. More old school death metal on the other stage. Burial remains, and it appeared to be the last gig they're gonna do. And they're not gonna perform live anymore. That probably has some reasons. I don't know what it is, but it's a great band. Old school death metal from Friesland in the northern part of the Netherlands. Good sound, that nasty old school death metal sound. If you don't know them, go check out Burial Remains. I think they are on Raw Skull Records, so then you know where to get the stuff. And you know that it's quality, because Raw Skull Records always release great quality old school death metal, so you're hooked with that. Great band. Next up, another Scandinavian band. This is Berzerker Legion. Also a bit more melodic sound, just like Destinity. Only this band is a bit more brutal in a kind of way. I enjoyed it. Watched a couple of songs, and yeah, did some rounds again, talking to people, get drinks, etc. So I didn't saw the whole gig, so I have to be honest here. But what I saw, it was really good quality stuff, and it's good to see that a band like this get their appreciation on the Stonehenge Festival. If you haven't checked out Berzerker Legion, definitely do so. It's a really nice band. Next up, old school masters here, old school death metal. Paul Speckman, a name everybody knows, legendary bass player and vocalist. Of course, I'm talking about Master. Sadly, again, not a great sound. Don't know what happens every time. There was a lot of feedback and other things going on the stage with the sound, I mean. So yeah, it's definitely a shame that happens, but overall they gave a really nice performance. Pulled out some really great classic tunes from their old albums, and yeah, definitely enjoyed Master. Great bands, and definitely happy to have seen them finally live. And yeah, can't say anything bad about that, people. Next up, the band from the Schnitzels and the Mountains, like Eric said, from Austria. So I mean, Disharmonic Orchestra, a really strange band in between all the bands. Not that it's really weird. It's of course it's going just like death metal, but the sound they play is a bit different than other bands. It feels like they play the stuff backwards. That's kind of how it feels. So it's a bit, the riffs are just other way around kind of feel, and it's something, it has to click or not. And it's kind of progressive in a way, like playing like that. And it's a really interesting band. But for me, this is not a band to see live somehow. I rather listen to their albums. Not that they are bad live, don't get me wrong, but this is a song of band that you have to get in the vibe for. And yeah, I wasn't really feeling it. So it's again something on my part. The band was doing their best, and I definitely could see that they enjoyed the gig. Especially the bass player had fun. Let's see to the look of his face. But yeah, it's a classic old school band, but with a different sound. And I think the guitar player is the main man, and the other two are newer members probably. Um, and definitely age difference there, you can definitely can tell. But um, yeah, it's going on for so long, and definitely earns respect. It's an interesting band, not to say the least, but they are different, and yeah, that makes them a bit stand out as well because not lot of bands sound like them. So that's an interesting point there. So, but yeah, if you like different kind of stuff, different kind of sounding death metal, there's definitely a band to check. Then the legendary Macabre, 40 years in business, murder metal. Yeah, what can I say about this band, guys? They definitely pulled off a lot of stuff from their back catalog. They only played one song from Carnival of Killers, I think the newer album, and the rest was all old school material from the early albums, from Dahmer, from Gloom, from Grim, from Sinister Slaughter, of course. You know, Unabomber they even played. Different kind of stuff. You know, killer tracks like Serial Killer, Vampire of Dusseldorf, Albus More Worse Than Any Fish in the Sea, Zodiac. You know, the classic tunes were all there, and yeah, it's kind of cool to see also they kind of represented the characters of the killers by someone coming up on stage with a costume looking like the serial killer in question they are talking about. So that's really a fun aspect to see. And yeah, it was a really fun show. I had the idea that they had to shorten the set a bit because also the singer Corporate Death always talks about what the song is about. So yeah, it could make it a song of a set list a bit longer. So I think I had the idea that they had to move off a couple of songs somehow, and that it take too long. But overall, it's a really good show. It was, I think, it was better than the last time I saw them, definitely. So, but yeah, respect for this band. They're active for 40 years, still in the same lineup. Not a lot of bands can say that after 40 years, so that's even more kudos to them. But yeah, classic band. Next up, Massacre on the other stage is yeah, again, old school band, active for a long time as well, but had hiatuses as well and have different kind of lineup changes, etc., etc. Yeah, it's a band that I enjoy. I definitely, their album From Beyond is a classic in discography. Um, but I didn't feel the need to go straightly to the stage. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I listened to the background. I really enjoy it, of course, but if I'm honest, I didn't really pay attention exactly to the sound, and kind of waited on Malevolent Creation that would be playing on the other stage, because there where I was, and the stages are like one is here and one is there, in a kind of an angle, and there's a ground around it with the market, etc. Um, it's a band. Malevolent Creation is also a band, goes way back to end of the 80s. Had a lot of lineup changes, a lot of lineup problems during all those years. And lately is kind of a question: who are you gonna see on the stage? Um, is there an old member in there, or is it just, to me, some puppets playing Malevolent Creation song? That's sometimes how it comes across to me. I don't want to be disrespectful to the bands. Absolutely not. They are fantastic band. The classics songs speak for themselves as well. We got a bunch of them, of course, in the set. This time there were 3 people on the stage. Last time, I don't know, were there also 3? I don't know, but I had the idea that this again was not a lineup, and yeah, I'm wondering what to think of that actually. Is it all worth it to keep it all alive and play live, with adding nothing really new to the song? I don't know, but the crowd seems to be pleased, so who cares actually? I'm not gonna say them what to do. So, but it's a good band. They have great songs, but yeah, sometimes I doubt. Is it really worth to keep that live legacy alive, without the members that are essential, important to their sound? Of course, Brett Hoffman, the old singer, is not possible anymore. But hey, there were more members in the past. Phil, where were you, for example? And there's a lot of stuff going on in that band every time, and it's yeah, kind of weird one in this situation. Anyways, next up, Anaal Nathrakh, a band I have seen before. I really like, but it's lately I don't listen to a bunch of it anymore, somehow. Not that I'm pulled off by it, but I'm listening to so much other stuff that yeah, it's a great band though. They are tight, fast, a lot of chaos, of course. Dave Hunt's vocals are amazing. He switches up from the harsh vocals to a heavy metal scream as well, when you least expect it. If you're familiar with the material, then you expect that. If you're not familiar with them, you think, hey, where that clean vocal comes from, that's the same guy. But yeah, an interesting band nonetheless. And it's always hard to keep up with the mix of black metal, industrial, and death metal, and heavy metal vocals. It's kind of a weird mixture. It somehow works, of course. I like to spin their albums some now and then. It used to be more than usually right now, but I think I have most of the releases from this band in my collection as well. And yeah, it's an interesting band, but for me, this is definitely a studio band somehow. And but yeah, who am I? People enjoyed it, so I have to shut up. Somehow. see one of the bands that I see the most. That was of course Napalm Death. Happy to see them finally, and also a band that has lineup issues at the moment. Of course, Mitch Harris. Sorry, Mick was the old drummer. Mitch Harris is not there live anymore on the guitar. We know that already for years. Shane was also not here. Shane Embry, the most important member, I think, on bass, was also not there. He was temporarily replaced live, of course, only live, by another dude. He's done a great job, by the way. Nothing wrong with his performance. Nothing to complain about. Danny, of course, Danny Herrera on drums. You know, it's a stable. It's the drummer is there for so long, like 35 years or something in the lineup. So he has definitely a reason to be there. Great drummer, tight, and always on point. And of course there is Mark Barney Greenway on vocals. A really active guy, a spokesperson. Has always something to say about things in the world or certain situations, or you know, and makes the songs really interesting and the introductions interesting. Active guy, really movable on the stage. His vocals performance was pretty decent. This performance, I really did thought that it was a great performance, and it was also good to see the variation in the set list next to a lot of old school stuff. Of course, like Suffer the Children, for example, is always in the set list. That kind of songs there are staples, but oh, cool to see they sometimes pull off some things you won't expect from them. Yeah, there were a couple of songs that thought, hey, that's really different and a bit less grindcore, but it definitely has that noisy, hard edge to them. But yeah, it was a diverse set list. I liked it, and it's good to see them live. Finally, after so many, this is a band I could have seen so many times, but never came around to it somehow. And finally, it happened. So I can cross off that one from the list. Another band, Nile, fantastic, great Egyptian themed death metal, great sound, great performance. I really happy to have seen them. Ending off with my favorite tracks, Black Seeds of Vengeance was a dream come true. Awesome performance. Tracks from multiple albums, and yeah, the band is changed up a lineup for last couple of years. Of course, there's new guitar player, new bass player, but I think they really fit it after the departure of Dallas Taylor Wade. I thought, well, it's gonna be a hard job to fill. But in the end, Carl Sanders definitely earns my respect to finally have all the things the way they should be, and both guitar player and bass player add contribution to the vocals as well, sound good, and of course Carl sings himself as well, his parts, and yeah, he has a recognizable deep growl, and then you have the other two guys adding all the different kind of growls and screams that really fit, and it was a really good gig. My view on the stage during this gig though was a bit shitty. I have to be honest. I rather would have been a bit more around the corner to the right, but hey, there were some wheelchairs already standing there and so other people, so I can't force yourself. I have to be there. No, I have to respect to everyone. And I've could seen what I want to see. Only I didn't really saw the drummer, but hey, that's a really different angle. But overall, really good gig, and happy have seen them. Classics, yeah, awesome. Autopsy, another classic band. But this is the band. I think the third time I've seen this band live. Once was the Stonehenge Festival before, and also one time on Neurotic Death Fest as well. So I have seen him a couple of times before, but always nasty sounding old school death metal. Here and there's some doomy elements and really good stuff. Also, it's nice to see the Black Sabbath tribute they did a bit in the earlier part of the set. Really honorful, respectful, playing that guitar melodies from Black Sabbath, I think it was. Great stuff. Nasty old school death metal. If you like that, Mental Funeral, Servant Survival, great, fantastic albums. He definitely played songs from those albums. It's always nice to hear that. Last band, Dismember. Kind of disappointment because also a bit of the sound. So I left a bit earlier. Also to get a train, but that didn't feel physically all the need to watch the whole gig. And I was tired, but I have seen a little bit of them. It's good. It was good, definitely good, and but yeah, it was time to go home after a long day. That's the other side of a festival like this. It's like standing for 14 hours or something if you see the whole day, and then I haven't seen even all bands, because the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands I haven't seen. So yeah, it was a rough day, but it's always nice to come back to the Stonehenge Festival, meeting all familiar faces, meeting new faces, and seeing some great bands, have some beers, have a great time, and always awesome. The only gripe on this festival here and there, of course, was the sound, which I little bit touched about in the early in this video, that it was not always the best. But there were, of course, moments that was pretty decent. So I'm not gonna complain completely. At least I got to see the bands and that I wanted to see, and it was a fun day. Really happy that I went, and of course the pre-orders went up for next year already. The early birds were sold out within a couple of hours, 500 tickets. So the regular tickets went online after that, and already half of all tickets are sold. So that went pretty fast. So people, I think this festival is doing a great job, and they already announced like 7 or 8 names already for next year, and I'm really hopeful that there will be more really fantastic names. They already had some great names for coming year, and they're definitely gonna go again. So that was my short thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed it, of course. Then of course you have seen the footage a bit, so hopefully let me know your thoughts. And of course, yeah, it was also merch. Yeah, that's the other thing. Not much actually this year. There are years that I buy t-shirts, a lot of other music, and this year I only bought a couple of CDs, so it was not much. I bought one CD for my girlfriend. She wanted to have. She wasn't really expecting that I bought it there for her, because I wasn't expecting that album there as well, actually. But when I do the Arts Rock stand, metal magazine Arts Rock, yes, they were also there. I saw that CD for a really decent price, so I gifted her that CD, so she's really happy with that. But I bought 2 releases from Invictus, like I said earlier. I bought their album from 2020. Was it that year, or was it a year later? I don't know. The Catacombs of Fear, and I bought their demo compilation, which is released, and it contains a couple of demos, and total of 8 tracks. You said it right? 7 tracks, sorry. From yeah, you definitely can read it yourself here, so I don't have to. But there are the tracks on this, and here's the track listing from this album, from the studio album. Japanese band, great stuff. Yeah, just gonna open them and gonna have a look at them, guys. Of course, they also the Japanese releases as well, so they have the obi. That's nice, and it's kind of a glossy digipack here. More info. Here's the CD, and the back has a logo or some sorts. Really nice, and the inside has the covers of the demos, so that's really cool. So let's put that then there, and then we have the studio album, of course. Also again a pretty glossy looking cover there, and though both releases are on Obliteration Records and Japanese label, I presume. They have also European versions of this. Don't ask me which label, I forgot actually. I knew it, but and this is all lyrics and things like that, you know, credits. But really nice. Happy to have these. Gonna spin some Japanese death metal after this video. Seems like so. Anyways, that's the stuff I bought. Like I said, it's not much this year. Only a couple of CDs, and that's just all drinks and foods, that kind of stuff. So I of course have browsed to the merch stands at the festival. But I didn't find really the need to buy something else. Sometimes you have that, and yeah, that is what it is. Anyways, I really enjoyed my time. Thank you all very much for watching. This seems to be a long video. Sorry for that. I will add some things out if it's necessary. But thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are not familiar with the festival, I will leave a link in the description. Maybe some more to Facebook, Instagram, website, etc. If you are like your death metal, definitely a festival to go to. And also, don't worry if you are a foreigner visitor. There are more foreign visitors every year on this festival as well, next to the Dutchies. So don't worry, you're not alone. Fantastic experience. See you guys next video.